everybody. Sit down. No, you. So it's Friday, and you know what that means. Let's welcome tonight's guests. Her favorite hobby is calling Andrew Cuomo laughing and then hanging up. Fox News meteorologist Janice Dean. His razors are very popular with the depressed. Comedian and founder of Western Razor Company, David Angelo. You know, there's no I in team, but she puts 3 of them in irritating. New York Times best-selling author and Fox News contributor, Kat Tipp. And finally, he considers a side of beef to be finger food. New York Times best-selling author and comedian, former NWA World Champion, Tyrus. I drank too much coffee, so my tongue is really sticky. Ugh.
Thanks for sharing.
Yes. So before we get to some news stories, let's do this.
Greg's Leftovers.
Yeah, leftovers, where I read the jokes we didn't use this week, and as always, it's my first time reading them. So if they suck, we'll throw Joe Mackey to the wolves and turn his entrails into Christmas ornaments. All right, here we go. Karine Jean-Pierre is rejecting claims that the White House staff treats Joe Biden like a baby. In fact, she says Joe is reading at a 3rd grade level and can walk several steps without falling down. When asked about a stain on her shirt, she said Joe spit up on her while burping him. On a related note, Kamala Harris says she, quote, may have to take over as president and is ready to do so. And by take over, she means smother Joe with a pillow during nap time. Ugh. She looks like the worst real estate agent. A study shows opposite-sex couples have less in common than previously thought, while other scientists note homosexual couples have more in common, like genitals. Could explain a lot.
That makes sense.
Yep. In a recent interview, a trans sorority gal named Artemis Langford, what is this, the Wild Wild West? Discussed the legal win that allows her to stay at an all-female sorority known as Kappa Kappa Gamma. The suit alleged Langford hadn't undergone feminization procedures like hormones or getting surgery or making sandwiches. Oh, that didn't work.
I liked it. I thought it was hilarious.
I did too.
I loved it.
She looks like she can make a sandwich.
Try it again. Sandwiches, right, fellas?
Yeah, yes. But anyway, the judge dismissed the case, adding that sorority sisters can no longer discuss who left the toilet seat up. As for Langford, she's just glad she's found a place in the House and as first-string defensive end on the football team. In a new poll, almost half of registered voters said any Republican would be better than President Biden, prompting one woman to legally change her name to N.E. Republican. The View's Whoopi Goldberg has contracted COVID for the 3rd time, proving once and for all the virus does not cause loss of appetite. A bear broke into a Florida family's screen porch and drank 3 White Claws. The first White Claw was too cold, the second too warm, but the third one... That joke was for the kids. Now go to bed. Speaking of animals, an ice cream parlor for dogs opened in Virginia. In response, millions of Virginia residents say it's nice to see dogs licking something besides their balls. The most popular flavors, chocolate, vanilla, and ass. Harvard has been named the worst college in America for free speech. The best, the University of Go F Yourself. Yeah, I'll probably get edited out, so who cares? In a Reddit forum, a woman complained that her boyfriend slept with his dying female friend as her final wish. The boyfriend did promise, however, that since his friend died, he probably won't have sex with her again.
Probably?
Probably. He said probably.
Probably.
Still, he shouldn't have bragged at the funeral by telling his bros, been there, done that. By the way, dying women are most of my conquests. After sex with me, they know it can't be topped and see no point in living.
Wow.
Well, I'm done. Kill yourself. It's like, oh, I'm finished. Buckle up, open the window. All right. A gay hookup app called Grindr. I've never heard of this. Is reporting that they've lost half their employees following a return to office mandates. Former workers said showing up in person was a real pain in the ass. Boo. All right.
I think the word was ew.
Ew.
Yeah.
Researchers believe artificial intelligence may one day allow us to speak to other species and will also allow us to talk to inanimate objects. A new study suggests vaping could reduce sperm counts and lead to a decrease in testicle size, which coincidentally are the same exact side effects men experience during The View. 23 people were hurt when an SUV crashed into a Denny's in East Texas. The SUV would have caused more damage, but luckily it was stopped dead in its tracks by a sticky table. That's the problem! Syrup! How can you run a restaurant with syrup? It's the worst thing ever!
I'm going to go out on a limb here. Denny's, even without syrup, will still be sticky.
Yes. Yeah. I love their sticky buns. But enough about the waitresses. A Delta Airlines flight was forced to turn back after a passenger suffered a case of catastrophic diarrhea. The smell was so bad, many passengers thought they were flying Spirit Air. And finally, Fanta is releasing a new Halloween mystery flavor that turns your tongue black. One taste tester was upset, saying, of all the body parts that could turn black, they chose the tongue. I don't understand that joke.
I do.
Now to the news. So is Jimmy Fallon's staff crying or is Rolling Stone lying? Rolling Stone just published a massive, stupid 3,700-word hit piece on The Tonight Show host Jimmy Fallon. The former magazine claims that behind the scenes, The Tonight Show is a toxic work environment. Yes, apparently Fallon is a huge a-hole, a terror at the office with a troubled life. But hey, working with Janice Dean, we can relate. Whoa, stop it! You should have seen what she did to those kids at the Make-A-Wish dinner. Drawing tropical storm fronts on the backs of their bald heads. Anyway, several anonymous staffers claim Fallon is a passive-aggressive tyrant with a suspected drinking problem. It's the same thing they said at the Ellen Show, except she was drinking human blood. So how bad is it really? Well, one worker blamed their declining mental and physical health, claiming they suffered from weakened nail beds and hair thinning, otherwise known as Jesse Waters syndrome. We also learned that the guest dressing rooms became known as crying rooms because that's where staffers would go when they were so upset. You know, we'd have crying rooms here, but my staff is too damn lazy to wait in line. And it's stupid. Technically, any room can be a crying room. I once made a nun cry in a laundromat. I told her she had a nasty habit. But really, Jimmy Fallon? Come on, he makes Mr. Rogers look like a serial killer. But being the frightened, helpless goober that he is, Fallon apologized. Dude, you gotta stop with the apologizing, especially to people who snitch. Them. No, I'm serious. These are trying to get you fired, and you apologize? Do what I do to backstabbing employees. I get them jobs at Colbert. In 3 weeks, they kill themselves. But I do wonder, sometimes, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't my staff bitching to Rolling Stone about my horrible workplace behavior? Everyone else around here gets a badass reputation except me. Judge Janine for skinning rabbits in her office. Dana for that time she punched a cop. And, of course, Shannon Bream whenever she makes her head spin around like The Exorcist.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.